Hi y'all, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is going to be one of two videos about stitches. While I was there, I did film a few clips and took a few pictures, but as y'all know, I can't edit, or I haven't yet tried really hard, and I have an Android phone, so I don't have that super fun technology that the Apple phones do. So, I don't yet have that video available because my poor dear husband has been jammed every day for like 3 or 4 days in a row, which means he works a night shift. He is supposed to be able to be home at 6 a.m., but when he goes to leave, they say, no, somebody called in sick, you have to work another 8-hour shift. And so that happened to him Friday, Saturday, and then today, Sunday. So he hasn't had the chance to help me, and quite frankly, I haven't even asked, because as soon as he comes home from working a 12 to 16 hour shift all night, he goes to sleep. So when that does come out, feel free to watch it. I understand a bunch of other folks will probably already have clips and whatnot from stitches, so you'll have plenty to look at, but the point is I don't want to hassle my husband. But I thought I would talk to you all about my experience in this video and show you what I all bought, and kind of go from there. And then if that other video does make it, great. Okay, so I am not a fan of driving. I can do it, but I'm not great. And when Deb from Knittin' Deb reached out and said, hey, I've got this bus group that I'm going on, let's get your name on the waiting list and we can go down to Stitches together. I was thrilled because, one, I don't have to drive, somebody else will, and while they're driving, I can crochet. And then I was going to get to ride down with Deb, and Deb I had just met up with a couple months ago, and we went to the Hirschner sale, and she's a super fun gal. So I got my name on the waiting list. Within a week, a spot opened up, and I got the email while I was at Boy Scout Camp Round 1 with Flinn, the super hot one. I think that was probably the only time I was like, yeah, the whole time at camp when I got that message. So I came home right away, PayPal'd the money to get on the bus, and the bus was very reasonable. It was $45 for the 3.5-hour bus trip, and it got you your ticket into Stitches, and there were door prizes and water and cookies and a bunch of great gals. So the only sad thing is I found out that the bus ride was not the same day that a bunch of the podcasters were meeting up. They were meeting on Saturday. But I was going to go with Knittin' Deb. Well, then poor dear Knittin' Deb got strep throat. So she had to forego her seat on the bus. So even though I seem like I'm a super fun, outgoing gal in these videos, I do get a little nervous and shy around people I don't know. So I rode the bus down, and when we got there, we did a little chatting on Instagram between Holly from the Popper Pineapple, her best buddy Al, and Rose from Rose Like Crochet, and Deb. And we were going to, 5 of us, were going to go have some lunch together. Well, poor Knittin' Deb's got the strep throat. Thank goodness, though, that she didn't come because I didn't want strep throat. Ha! Selfish me. And then when we got down there to the actual Stitches, Al and Holly's bus came later than ours because I think they're coming from farther. And they were just tired and maybe a little overwhelmed. You have to get up early. We all know Holly's got a lot going on in her life. And so they opted out of the lunch. And then I just felt bad having poor Rose come just get me because she's working down there, and I don't like driving in Chicago, and I would never ask anybody to do the same. So I've yet to meet everyone. I'm hoping they all had a good time the next day meeting each other. And you know what? We got a whole future ahead of, us to try to meet up another time. So that was the no meetup kind of situation, which, what it is, and I'm fine. I did feel a little sad, but the yarn cheered me up. So we did first get, I just threw this aside, a booklet of the stitches, and it talks about the different designers that are there, different advertisements, and then it had a map. And And let's see here. While on the bus, because I was in a tour group, not only did we get cookies and water and a door prize, which I'll show you, we got this book of book of coupons. La 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 la. So, let's first show you the door prize. I forgot. So, some nice gal on the bus made everybody these cute little bags. So, I got this cute little bag. And in it were my coupons and my door prize, which is a skein of Bleeding Heart Haven fiber. I guess it's raised and sheared by them. Content says Cormo silk alpaca. Como. I can't really read the handwriting. Do you see that, y'all? Is it blurry? Cormor, Como. I don't know. DK 380 yards. Color. I love it. Bleeding Heart Haven. The color is beautiful, but as you can see, it is a very furry alpaca. And then, I think I stuffed it in another bag. We got a little goodie from Fiber Yarn Shop because that's just like 20 minutes north of me, Nina. And the bus picked up in Nina. The bus picked up in Oshkosh. The bus picked up in Fond du Lac. So that was a bus ride. On the way there, I was a little shy, didn't do a lot of talking. But once I got there, there was a couple gals I saw here and there. Met up with another second grade teacher. So it got a little bit more comfortable as the day went on. So the first thing I did is I circled all the stalls or booths in my map that I had a coupon for. I don't know if you can see that. Because I thought that would be helpful. And, you know, I had we got there at 10, right when the doors open, and we weren't leaving till 6. So I had 7 hours at this yarn shop. And so I went down the first aisle, and I'm just going to show you all as I went through. So I circled all my coupons. I started walking down the first aisle. I saw such a pretty yarn, and then I came to this place called, it was the last booth in the first row. And they had a truck. Hopefully you get to see this in my video. It was like a little mini bus all full of yarn, and they had all this yarn out there. And I made my first splurge where I saw something beautiful and I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. And so I bought this less traveled yarn. It is a sock yarn. They call it 757 sock. 75% merino, 25% nylon. The merino is from Argentina. And hand wash, lay flat to dry. So it's a really fun light and dark combo. Super cool. With the speckles, it was just a splurge, I grabbed it. This was $27.50. I know, y'all, I'm a Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Walmart. I mean, I was just belly aching a few videos ago that my mandala is still $5.88 a skein at Walmart. But you know what? I saved some money. I've been saving money since May for this. So this skein was the first splurge. Then I was going back up. I think I set aside the business card for this one. I was going to tell you. I was trying to get organized, and then you know what happens? I end up getting excited about yarn. Let's see here. Here, Yarnbyrds. People who love to knit or crochet are always the best people. I will put all of this in the description box. So you got to look for that show more or that little arrow down. I know some of you have not mastered that because I always put the patterns for the most part. Even if I do forget, someone will remind me, and I put them back in that description box, and some of y'all still can't find them. So try really hard because you're going to want this information. It's just down below when you're watching your videos. If you're on your phone, it might be a little harder. So this is Yarnbird. Robin Sims is the owner. She has a Facebook, an Instagram, and she is on Ravelry. Yarnbyrds.com. That is that. Again, I'll put a link in the description. They had a million skeins of yarn there. By only means, this was just the splurge. So then the next, let's see if I can find my coupon or my business card for that group. The next one I saw was group Threads in You. And I believe they're out of Well, let's double check to see if this one... I feel like it said that they were out of Georgia on the sign. I'm going to put this right up here so I can keep referencing my cards. So I saw this, and I'm going to use Holly's word, this stunning yarn. I just thought this was so awesome, how it's dark on the bottom and then a speckled color on top. And they had a whole bunch of this kind of stuff, y'all. They had a black one with like rainbow on top. They had some darker grays with like pinks and purples or teals and blues, all kinds. You needed 2 to make the pattern. So I bought the 2. These were $25 each, and you got the free pattern. Now, where I put the free pattern, I don't have it right here. It's upstairs. Wait, I told you a lie. It's right here. So you got the free pattern. Shelly was the lady I talked with or spoke with at the booth. And it is on cardstock, but you guys, it's a knitting pattern. And when I was reading through this, I'm going to show you a picture of what it should look like. Now, I bought the pink and gray, but the one that they have modeled in here is the black and rainbow. So what you do is you knit this in the round, and then you seam it along one side and create like a tube. And on one side, it's the dark in the middle and then the color on the outside. And then if you flip it the other way, it's the black on the outside and the rainbow in the middle. Let's see if I can find a picture of that. That's still black on the inside. Well, this shortest shows you rainbow in the middle, black on the outside. But that's a horrible picture, and it's a different colorway. Well, the girl's cute, but I'm just saying. So the thing that's going to be tough about this is it goes into great detail on a page telling you how you need to start it. That you need to pull out the full section of, the first section of dark color. And you need to pull out like 12 inches from it. And then from that 12 inches, you got to cast on your 76 or 78 stitches. And then you knit around. And then on the next round, after you hit a certain number of stitches, you have to put a place marker. And then you knit another round stockinette. And then from there, this is where it gets crazy, y'all. If you have a certain number of stitches on this side and a certain number of stitches on that side of the marker, then you need to go to a bigger knitting needle because your tension's too tight. Or if you have a certain number on this side versus that side, then maybe your tension's too loose and you need a smaller needle. I mean, I was like, good Lord, I don't know that I will ever, I don't know if I'll ever have the knitting abilities, but it's super pretty. Maybe I'll cake these up, start crocheting with one, see what happens, maybe make a hat. This might be cute for like the bottom of the hat or the top. I don't know. Just see what happens. You know, I don't know. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get the ability to knit this someday with the planned pooling, and maybe I won't. Okay, so then this is after I bought those. That's when we kind of had this thing with the lunch kind of falling apart. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just eat at their concessions, which was super expensive and not delicious. And I called my sister, we chatted, and then I said, you know what, my next purchase needs to be the yarn because I want to knit the Free Your Fade from Andrea Mori. Now, she is all over those conventions. Her patterns are everywhere. And there was like this group called like Little Honey or Honey Girl or something, and they had her patterns all over. She's got some more fade type shawl patterns with that name in it. So what I did then is I took my coupons and I went to the booths and I saw the yarns that I would have wanted to use for this pattern, and I priced them out. And I called my husband. I'm like, okay, these skeins are $31.75, and I have a 15% off. You know, and then I went to another booth and they were $38 a skein. And then went to another that was $25, and I kind of priced out. And I spent a couple hours doing this, y'all, because I had 7 hours there, and I only had $200. And whereas that could make a big clearing at like a Michael's sale or whatever, it's not a lot of yarn at one of these conventions. So finally, after going to, let me see here, I'll find my list. After going to a bunch of different places that I want to tell you all about, I went to Alexandra, the Art of Yarn. They're based out of Oregon, and I have family over there. And I did end up buying a skein of theirs yarn, just to let y'all know, but I gave it to someone else already as a gift, so I don't have to show it to you. Then I did go to Superfine Yarn Company. Sarah Flinn is the owner. It says locally dyed yarn, but I don't know, like, locally where she's from. And then I went to a place called, I want to say Apple Yarns. Yes, Apple Yarns. And they had some really beautiful yarns, and I had a 15% off coupon for them. And then I went to a gal called, I have a coupon for her, Crochet Queen, Queenie Crochet. Now, I will put in the description box below, remember, information for all these folks. She will dye your yarn by order. I am not quite sure how she does it. Maybe she hand paints them. But she has this picture with all the strands of the yarn in a hank in these color pencils, and you can color it how you want, and she will dye it that way. Amazing. And her skeins were $25 each. I don't see where she's from. And she didn't have like a business card. She just had this big poster board. If you get to see that video that my husband makes, you'll get to see her business card. So the point is, I shopped around for quite a while. And what I settled on, which I thought was a really sweet story, is the Yarn Stash Created For You by Laura. Quite frankly, the reason I decided on her, because let's be real, all this yarn is beautiful. All of the yarn is squishy. All the colors are beautiful. The prices, they were definitely $25 was the lower end of cost per skein, 400 yards, fingering too, mind you. If you go to DK or worsted, the yards go down. There was quite a few booths that were 25, some were 30, 27, 31, 38, 60 some dollars. But I liked her story. Hopefully I'll figure out how to tag her in this video. And of course I'll put her links down here. She's on Instagram, she's on Facebook, and she has an Etsy shop, Created For You by Laura, all one word. Her name is Laura. She's an indie dyer, and while I was chatting with her, she started this business in her basement. Her and her husband, she started dyeing yarn, and he started helping her. And they run it out of their house. It's a husband and wife team. And they started dyeing yarn. And it kind of like hit me in a soft spot, because when I've been, dabbling with my little bit of yarn dyeing, which is nothing compared to what I saw these y'all folks doing, my husband's like, whatever you want. If you want to make a big investment in bare yarn, we can do it. And it just kind of like, aw. And so there they were together in this little booth. Now, some of these places would have like 4, 5, or 6 booths together, and they'd have one big area. And she was in one little booth by herself. And so I felt like, you know what? This is what I want my money to go to, because all the yarn, regardless, was going to cost $75 to $100 for the yarn for this Free Your Fade. So I thought, I am going to give my money, choose my yarn from Laura. So Laura, if you happen to see this, I loved your story of you and your husband starting this business together. Hopefully, you guys, your business blows out of the water, and someday you'll be as big as some of those other folks with like 6 booths together. So this is the yarn that I chose from Laura. I did not get pink or purple. I went for the blues because I thought it would go well with my eyes. So the first skein I have here is like an all teal with a little black and white in it. Do you see that, y'all? The next one is a blue, a navy blue, kind of a creamy, and a teal. And then the next one is mostly a blue and a creamy. So I feel like I'm going to do them in this order for the Free Your Fade shawl. So this was $25 a skein, and I will be making myself a $75 wrap. I don't know quite how I feel about it, because I'm not going to say I don't deserve that, but I just feel like, holy cats, that's a lot of money. Like, I typically buy my clothes at Walmart and Target. Sometimes I go on sale to Lane Bryant or Maurice's and get something, but 90% of my wardrobe is from, a $5 shirt. So I'll be wearing an awesome $5 Walmart shirt with like a $75 wrap over it. Won't that be wonderful, y'all? So this was my big purchase. I spent a couple hours working on this one because I had that time. Then the last thing I did was another splurge. I just made this purchase. I killed another like hour sitting at the table, crocheting and just, you know, hanging out with myself. A couple times I would see someone from the bus and start and chat and like, oh, what are you looking at and what are you buying? And then I got up and I went to another booth. See if I can find it. Jeffery Wall, Dennis Reckner from from Freeport, Illinois, Wall of Yarn. I'm guessing that's their yarn shop, and they had a bunch of different brands of yarn in their booth. And I bought this one, which is completely out of my character, but it just looked like, look at all those speckles, y'all. I have no idea how this will crochet up. This is a kettle dyed pure superwash merino wool, Malabrigo, and so it's made in Peru. But look at all of those speckles. Wow, it almost kind of reminds me of like a Monet or something. So that was my last splurge, and this was the cheapest yarn I bought, you guys, at $19.50. Can you imagine? I could have had 2.5 mandalas. So that was my yarn experience, and after buying that yarn, I'm gonna kind of put these all back in my Jane Wynn cat bag. I then just sat out in the lobby and chatted with another gal from my bus. They were these super awesome seats. I wish I would have taken a picture of them so you could see. They were kind of like ovals, like big scoop seats where you could have sat cuddling a friend or a partner next to you. But I just kind of like laid out on it and chatted with this lady, which was kind of fun because I'm, you know, a teacher. And she is just ended her career as a superintendent. So we were talking about teaching and family, and her daughter's a principal. And it's kind of nice with being a teacher, hearing the side of things from the administration versus being a teacher. So that was my time. After that, I kind of sat outside in that area and just kind of relaxed because my legs were burning. And I've been walking a lot, and oh, you guys, the most fun part, right, was I forgot to say that I met some kind of a famous guy, which I didn't even really know was famous. I took a little bit of a clip of him, and then I got up the courage to go over there and talk. It's Stephen B. He's a knit and crochet designer, and he's based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, so maybe when I go visit my sister, I'll stop by his spot. And he is very, very colorful and very exciting. He's got a YouTube channel where he streams kind of like a live reality type TV. Stephen B, the reality series, streaming live. So I checked him out, and he was fun and exciting. And if you, like I said, if I get that video together, you'll get to see. But otherwise, head on over there right now to Stephen B. Just see, it says StephenB.tv, and it's BE. So yeah, I got to meet him, and he is glittery and colorful, and holy cats, I don't even know if I would have the courage to be like that. I mean, it'd be fun someday to be all rainbowed out. So yeah, so then after seeing him, that was my boy, am I just going all over the place. It feels like forever since I sat and chatted with y'all. So then I sat out in the booth in the lobby for a little while, chatting with that gal, doing a little crochet. And then I got on the bus and we drove back to Oshkosh, and I seriously slept the whole way. I think I remember a couple times snapping my head up, and I was like, it's dark everywhere, and I went back to sleep. And then I kind of woke myself up, drove 4 minutes because the bus stop was 4 minutes from my house. I just stuck my stuff on the kitchen table and went to bed. So that was my wonderful time. It really was good. I mean, for being a social person and liking to be with people, it was a little hard to be alone, but it's a good learning experience because my sister, on the other hand, she's got a bunch of little kids at home, and she said she would die to have a day where she could just walk quietly and calmly and shop all by herself and not have everybody, hanging on her. So I guess, you know what, I need to look at the bright side and think that I was away from kids for quite a few hours, whereas I just got back from Boy Scout camp where I was surrounded in the wild with kids. Yeah, and I got to hold and smell and touch beautiful yarn, and I got to buy some because I've been saving my money. And you know what? Who's to say what I'm going to make with this stuff? I don't even know. But that's that. Hopefully, like I said, my husband can chop up all those clips and put them all together and make a quick, it would probably be like a 7-minute video, if that. So hope you all will get to see that. If not, just know that I did take the clips, but if it comes out way late, it's because my husband is working so hard and he needs his rest. And I don't want to be a nag. All right, thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos, which reminded me, if you guys made it all the way to the very end of this long, chitter-chattery video, I met one of you all. I met a subscriber. Oh, Carol, I'm so sorry I waited till the very end. I hope, you know what, I'm going to mention it in my next video, in the beginning, too. I met Carol. I was just walking around. I don't remember at what point in the day it was. And she's like, hey, Summer. And at first I thought it was one of the ladies from my bus. I'm like, hey. And she's like, I watch your podcast. I'm like, what? So I took a picture with Carol. I didn't ask her, so I can't flash up the photo. But I was super excited. It's the first time. And you know what? First time somebody I didn't know recognized me. And we sat and chatted. So that was kind of exciting. A little like, I don't know, like fun, freaky fun. And so we chatted, and sure enough, she's like, how are the kids? And, we talked about all that stuff. And so it was really nice to talk to someone that I felt like knew me. And, yeah, so that was great. So, hey, Carol, again, I promise you, because it's at the end of the video, I'm going to say hi to you again at the beginning of the next video. That is what I'm going to do. That way you will get, you'll for sure get to hear this if you didn't wait till the end. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Thanks for sharing my videos. And until then, happy crafting. Bye.